Welcome to PS84's podcast. I'm Mr. Acevedo here with
Miss Anita. Hi, Mr. Acevedo. How have you been?
I've been doing really well. A new year, starting off really well, actually. We're in October already.
Well, this is a special podcast, and I'm really, really excited about it because we have our parents, who is best known as Nico's mommy, but she has her own name. It's Afra Ruiz. And let me tell you a little bit about Afra. Afra is a plant-based nutrition and fitness coach. She is the chair of Nutrition for Environmental Science Committee. She is a fearless gardener, meaning that she is taking good care of our rooftop and side gardens. She has just been newly elected as PS84's PTA co-president. And we're speaking with Afra today because she is PS84's Family Healing Ambassador. So she underwent some training this past summer. She gave up a lot of her personal time while most of us were out on the beach. Afra was busy working and putting together a presentation to help parents as our Family Healing Ambassador. And I'd like to welcome Afra to the conversation. Good morning, Afra.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you guys?
We're good. First off, can you explain what exactly is a Family Healing Ambassador and what are you bringing to our parents?
Yeah. So, Family Healing Ambassador is a community of parents and school leaders that build their knowledge in healing to tackle centered trauma-informed care with a healing-centered approach to support holistically to our families and involving culture, spirituality, civic action, well-being, to work in this collective healing. And I really like that work, collective healing. Mm-hmm. Every time I hear that during the training, it was like, yes, we just came, from COVID. And right now we are in this moment that we are getting back to our life. Our kids are getting back to school, and all of us are healing.
Exactly. So what does healing mean to you, Afra?
So for me, everyone has their own approach to healing. For me, it's basically taking care of myself and working the, when we are child, we have all these traumas and all these bias and, so working in those things to grow and, to support people and understand people that, all of us are human, we make mistakes, and I don't have to judge you because you're doing mistakes. So it's like growing for me, taking care of myself and growing.
Right. So what are the different ways a person can heal?
Woo! It's up to the culture. Let's say I'm Latina, so for me, part of my healing is I like dancing. So dancing makes me happy, it makes me connect with my roots. So when I play music and I dance, so for me it's like, oh yeah, I'm in my happy moment. Also, when I take care of myself, eating healthy or doing some meditation or, taking care of my family, for me, those are the way I heal. But mostly when I take care of myself. That sometimes parents, we forget about that. We all about our kids and, our works, and we don't take care of ourselves.
Yes. Over the past year, with our COVID year, there have been a lot of different ways that this has affected families, adults and children alike. A lot of what we hear is trauma, right? So we need to understand what trauma is. Trauma can be totally different for different people. different families, different cultures, right? So can you talk a little bit about what trauma is?
Yeah, like the definition that I got was like it's when children and adolescents experience events that involve a loss of core in sense of safety and security. So because they are young, they don't know how to cope with this emotion, and then that can influence in their behavior, in the way their brain develops. So it's something like, yeah, we need to pay attention. And sometimes parents, we don't know. We just like, oh my God, I don't know why he's like behavior this way, but sometimes that's the way kids for us show like we are dealing with some like anxiety, stress, difficulty.
Right. And trauma can mean a lot of different things to different people, but especially children. So trauma can be experiencing a divorce between two parents. Trauma can be the loss of a grandparent, starting at a new school, especially in the upper grades. It's a little traumatizing. And of course, the separation that most of the children went through the pandemic, where they were isolated and learning remotely. That can be traumatizing to a child as well.
Yeah.
But also, I think sometimes the fear of not knowing what's next. Like if you hear your family, someone in your family, has COVID, maybe the fear of not knowing that, in a lot of cases, they're going to be okay. We have to quarantine and go through the steps of feeling better, but just not understanding some of the things that, we've all been dealing with can be traumatic to students. Can you talk to us a little bit about what that looks like at home, what that trauma or stress looks like at home?
Yeah, behavioral changes, like, sometimes, and that happens, like your kids outgrow the baby talk, and they come back to the baby talk, or they waiting again. Also nightmares, problems sleeping, change in the ways they get along with others, like in the school or in the families. Sometimes they don't talk, or they get super hyperactive. So yeah, and then anger, maybe in parents we see the changes. Sometimes, you say, and that happens to me during the pandemic, like my son, he changed to another kid. I was like, oh my God, this is not my kid. He's now hyperactive. He's now not following any rules. He's now yelling all the time. So I think that was the way he was expressing the anxiety of not going to the school, not doing like their routines, or missing his friends, because we spent 70 days without leaving the house. Yeah, it was like that. So yeah.
And what might traumatic stress look like at school?
Okay, a school staff should know any change in a student behavior or personality, and then they are the first responder, like in medical field, they are the ones who are every day with our kids, so they are the ones sometimes who note those changes, but basically and I think that's happening now. Like they don't want to write anymore, or let's say they like reading and they stop reading. They have difficulty focusing in the schoolwork. So those are the things like I think you can do.
And I have to say, our entire staff went under trauma training. So we've all been trained in looking for trauma in students and just what are the follow-up steps to help a family or to help a student.
So Afra, how can parents in school help our kids overcome or deal with stress or trauma?
Okay, and children are more likely to um, bounce back from trauma when they feel safe, capable, and loved. So every time you are with your kids, so praise their strengths and abilities, give them choices so they can have a sense of control, having positive roles models or mentors. So if you know your kids like someone, my son loves Messi, so we always like, so if you want to do this or if you want to be like Messi, you can do this. So having a healthy relationship with your kids is very supporting, and being in a community. So, families is like a really support, and in this moment is like essential. And also, if you go to church or your kid belongs to any like group, so those are things that can help.
Oh, so I feel like we're off to a good start in this series. I feel like we're in good hands with AFRA. What do you think, Mr. Acevedo?
Absolutely. I just want to add one quick note that if you are experiencing trauma at home with your student, with your child, our student, make sure to notify the teacher so that, we can be part of that process as well to support your family. But as far as the podcast, this is a wonderful start, Miss Anita.
Yes, I'm very excited to hear more from Miss AFRA. She's very knowledgeable and she brings a lot to the table.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward for more things like this.
Yes, so see you soon or hear you soon.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.